changed up the angle a little bit. I thought today we could do something that's not quite knitting, because I have not made any progress on any of my projects that I can like really show you that make any sense. But I do have another project that I'm like kind of starting to work on. This one is just like the bare, like, I don't know, the bones, the beginning of the project. But as you might know, I am getting married in September, and part of that is we're DIYing our flowers. So you can kind of see I have some flowers here. You can't see the whole table. I have taken over our kitchen table. It's not very big, but I've taken it over. I am making like testers for what kind of flowers we want for our wedding. We have a couple of just fake florals here. We have some from the Dollar Tree, some from Joann's. We have some greenery as well. Some that I have thrifted this weekend out of bags. We have been doing just like, I have a bunch of fake florals anyways, because I like to build little floral arrangements to like leave around our house. So I've collected a few of those. Like here's one of them. This one is just really simple. It's just a bunch, and I put it in a, we really like this wine, so we thought why not keep the bottle. A little silly, but whatever. And then we have these ones that we bought a few months ago. They were like a sale at Joann's. But I collected the flowers and the greeneries that I have from around my house. And I was getting some ideas because we've been trying to pick what flowers we want to get so that we can like buy larger quantities. Give me 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I was making lunch, and that was the timer, or not the timer, the preheating on my oven. So yeah, so we picked up some flowers, and we're working on displays, and I wanted some to go like accents around tables or other sorts of things. So you'll see the one I started. I started a second one. I bought this box. I only have one because my dollar store only had one, but I picked up this box at the dollar store, and then I picked up a 3-pack of this smaller floral foam at Michael's, which was probably not the best idea, because then we went to Walmart and I realized it was cheaper to buy the floral foam at Walmart, but whatever. I spent $10 on a 3-pack. Not thrilled with myself there, but whatever. So I was able to make this one yesterday as like one example, and it's supposed to go in the box, which is why you can see so much of the floral foam. I had tried it without the box, but it just took way too much, and I didn't necessarily like how it looked. And I had put it on, I can show you, I had put it on this little guy, but the problem is I just taped it with like regular packing tape. Oh my god. I just put it with like regular packing tape, and obviously the packing tape won't stick because the floral foam is dry, because these aren't real. So like I don't need to wet the foam. I should have just got craft foam. I don't know why I thought I had to have the floral foam, but lesson learned, can just get regular craft foam next time. But I made this guy. It is a 360, not as great in the back, but obviously this is the front. This is the one you're supposed to look at. There's the top. Kind of cute, isn't it? But I thought we could make another one. Since this has got some little orange grasses. They're also fake, obviously. And then I have some flowers I've already cut. So normally, as you probably know, when you buy fake florals, they come on a stem and they come in little bundles. I'm gonna be honest, I cut them off. I have these little guys, these little pliers. I don't remember what my fiance bought them for. I think they were for building gunpla, and you use them to like snip it off. But I just use it to snip through the wire, and it's so much faster, because before I was using kitchen scissors, and let me tell you, I was ruining scissors. I was ruining them. And also it just took a lot of hand strength. So I just go in, I just take it, you isolate the one you want to snip, and then it just snips right off. It's great. I love it. That's what I've been doing. Because then it makes like just one little flower. And honestly, I feel like it stretches them farther. Like, yes, you still have to buy quite a few of them, and I probably will have to buy quite a lot, but like, I have so much more now because I've snipped them all off of the big stem. And then this display, the one that I showed you already, this one took about eight individual little stemmy guys. But obviously that is split slightly between the two now because the original one I made, I remade this one. The first one I had made that did all the way around took 8. But this one took a little bit less. But also I had some pre-cut because one of the things I got at Goodwill yesterday when we went was a like bag bundle of pre-cut floral arrangements, and I just got very lucky that it was mostly greenery and orange flowers, which is great because we're doing fall colors. The other thing I got was this cool garland that's got some like little red berries. I think it's Christmas garland, honestly, but the fake grass is very weak. There's not a lot of it, so I am spreading glitter all over my apartment, but it's fine. It's not as aggressive, so I think it will hide well. But yeah, so I got these little guys, these little orange and reds. I've split them a little bit by color just so that I could maintain what's where. So I have orange and reds, I have some lavender, I have those purple ones I showed you, and then I have these white ones. I think this arrangement is mostly going to be the orange and the reds and the whites. And I've been sticking to the smaller ones because this foam is kind of small, so I thought it would look better with the smaller flowers rather than the big ones that I have. And the big ones I will use for an arch. We're going to make, not like an arch, we're going to make pillars. But I don't have the materials all for that, nor the space. So today we're just going to make, this little guy. We're going to finish filling it out. I filled it out already, but I had to stop because the noise the foam was making was killing me. But yeah, so I'm going to change the angle so that you guys can like watch me actually put this thing together a little bit. And yeah, so just give me a second to change the angle and I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, welcome back. So since I have this greenery in, I'm gonna fill it a little bit more with some of this. This came out of the bag I got at the Goodwill, so I'm just gonna, I don't know, touch it up. I don't really know how to explain what I'm doing. I'm just filling it, making it look good. I don't really know what to tell you. But yeah, so I'm just gonna, so this is gonna be my front. So I'm gonna fill it so that this looks good, I guess. But I won't neglect the back too much, hopefully. And then one thing I want to be kind of like clear is that I respect florists. I think they
they put a lot of time and effort into making what they do look very good. So I don't want to like say, oh, I'm DIYing my florals because I think, you know, florists way overcharged. Because honestly, I don't really live in an area where people do overcharge. But that's because I live in kind of like a low, not necessarily low cost of living area, but I live in an area that doesn't necessarily have the like the really big prices, the like, you know, shocking price tags you get on social media. So I'm not really like, you know, these I don't really have that kind of shock of like, oh my god, I can't believe the florals I want are going to cost that much. I just didn't I knew I could like kind of make what I wanted, and the venue we have is nice enough that I wasn't too worried about, you know, making my own bouquets or my own flower arrangements, or it being, you know, like way too expensive. Um, like I felt confident enough in my abilities to make an okay looking arrangement that I wasn't too concerned about it looking bad if I did it myself, especially if I did it with the faux florals. And honestly, I don't really ascribe to the like faux florals look tacky. I think that's kind of like a not like a cult like a classist thing or like a bad thing, but I think it's very much like a it's very weird to me that people have decided that like a somewhat affordable version of flowers that like a lot of people can get is bad. It's just kind of like what's the point um of like downplaying that? But also part of it is because I like my fiance and I don't have a lot of money to spend on this wedding, and I didn't want to make one of our big expenses flowers when I, you know, like we didn't necessarily have that money, and it meant we might have to like lower the quality or like skip something that we would prefer to have. So for me, it wasn't like a big like this wasn't high on my priority list of like things I have to have. I didn't feel the need to have professional flowers, but that's also a very personal and like choice we made as like a couple, because I wasn't like, oh my god, I have to have real flowers at my wedding, or I'm going to like, you know, I'm gonna think it's a failure of a day. I was like, no, I like the look of the faux flowers. I decorate my house with them enough, so I'm not entirely like I have to have real ones. And the other thing is I knew what I wanted was gonna be expensive, and because we only had so much money to spend, I didn't want to waste, you know, money I could splurge on food with, or money I could splurge on something else with. Mostly food. I think food is very important, so I was more willing to save elsewhere if it meant my food would be better, or I would have more food, or like a higher quality of food. Not necessarily higher quality, but if I could have, you know, more food. But that's a personal thing. Like I was like, no, I want to have, you know, that kind of like I put a higher priority to myself and on food than I did on flowers, which is fine. Now, I don't know if this will necessarily be cheaper in my area because I didn't look for quotes on what florals would be. So I could be shooting myself in the foot here, honestly, because I didn't do my own research. But I had looked online, I saw what other people were paying for florals, and I said, I can't justify that for today. Like I could justify, you know, the $1,500 I'm spending on a photographer because I know I'm going to love those photos. I know I'm going to be, you know, happy looking back on those photos and having them and being like, yes, remember all of our friends and families that were there. I placed like a higher priority on that than like what my flower arrangements look like. So if you don't want to DIY your flowers, feel free. I'm not going to stop you. I am very much a proponent of do what you want. It's your wedding. like within reason. I don't think anyone should be going into major debt for this, but we set ourselves a budget, and I, you know, figured that what we had to spend would not be conducive to getting the amount of real flowers that I wanted. So I also like the idea of being able to like keep them forever for like use around our home, or passing them on to our friends or people who might want them. I think that's nice. I think that's fine. That's what I wanted. So that's why we're doing this. But if I ballpark my hours that I'm probably going to spend on this, and how much money I'm going to have to spend getting the florals, it's probably about the same as if I was to just hire a florist. So let's be real. This is probably my silliest decision, but it's fine because it's what I made. And then right now, all I'm doing is, I found that I try to trim as close to the base of the stem as I can. So sometimes I found that for especially these like smaller ones, they're a little too long and they stick out too far. So I found that if I just snip off a tiny bit of this end, it, you know, just makes it feel a little bit better. I've been neglecting the back here. So we're gonna stick a few in the back. And then another thing I find kind of fun about this is that I don't have to cover all of the foam. I just have to cover enough so that when you look on it from the outside, you can't see any big kind of gaps in the arrangement, which I think is the fun part because I really like decorating. I like getting to have my say in what things look like in here. And I think it's kind of fun because I get to pick, you know, the colors and the flowers, and I get to be all sorts of like fun and attentive to detail. Have a little bit of could try sticking some of these. They're a little too small, so maybe not. I don't really want to put any blue in here. I'll add some of this greenery. I need something taller. Just snipping off the rest of these. But yeah, I think DIYing my own florals is just something kind of fun for me. It's a bit more creative, and I like that, obviously. Oh, stop. Sorry about that. I'll cut that. I think it's fun. It's a little bit more of like a creative endeavor, which is fun for me because, you know, obviously I run a knitting channel. I like to fancy myself a bit of a creative. So I think it's kind of fun, you know? You get to have your own personal little touches, you know, your own personal style, which is, you know, kind of what a wedding's all about. You and your fiance's style, so. Oop. But yeah, so there's number 2. And it's kind of fun. And I get to keep this around my house. So that's always fun. The boxes probably will not stay white. I just don't have the materials. We're thinking of maybe like hot gluing some moss on there, or I might get some brown paint, some like dark brown, and like kind of paint wash stain them a brown. But I think this is kind of fun and it's nice, and it doesn't take too long to do since you watched me do basically the whole thing. So yeah, I just have a few more of these to do. Probably won't do them in this video, but I thought it would be kind of fun to show you guys what I'm planning for my September 2024 wedding. So yeah, since I don't have any knitting content for you guys and I wanted to get something up, but hopefully I'll have actual knitting, you know, regularly scheduled content will be back next week or so, but wish me luck. Hope I have time to actually finish something this week. But yeah, I will see you guys then.